Hot dang. Welcome to the Hit Factor podcast. This is Jeremy Reed, along with my co host, one Jeffrey Cawthorn, the vice champion of the world, the main match champion of the 2025 IPSC World Shooting Classic Division.
Jeremy only has controversial topics to talk about today.
Oh boy, what do we got? I don't have any controversial topics.
Y'all are in for a treat. He came in with a mission. That
How
mission
does
to watch the world burn.
No, it's not to watch the world burn. You want to stop the world from burning down.
Everyone's right.
What
Your
you
point
want.
of view is everyone else is trying to burn the world down, and you're
Yeah,
going to stop it.
yeah. You need somebody to come in and stop it from happening.
Yeah.
What? Which one of those? Which? Why not? Why not you? Why not us? Why not the Hit Factor podcast?
Yeah. I mean, I think all three of these topics are. I'd love to hear you rant about them.
Oh boy. So let's talk about the belt championship. You want to talk about that?
Yes, I do. Well, I mean, I want to hear you talk about it.
Well, okay. So I'm gonna have to lay out what my understanding is of the belt championship and how that played out. So Hunter Constantine owns. Does he call it the belt? Like, what is the belt? Just called the belt?
No, it's called Belt.
Oh, just called okay belt. It's ingenious marketing there. But so what Hunter has basically done is he has created his USPSA has allowed him to create his own division within USPSA, and they've allowed him to use USPSA to gratuitously promote himself above and beyond any other sponsor within the sport is what I would say at this point. So he has created a quote unquote belt championship within the USPSA Nationals this year, to where if you sign up and you shoot from concealment at the match, I think you have to use his belt. And that's where I'm not. I think you have to use his belt. And you have to shoot from concealment. It doesn't matter what division you shoot in, but you have to be from concealment using his belt. If you do, then that made you eligible for at Factory Gun Nationals. It was a decently large cash prize.
Yeah,
I want to say $3,500.
yeah. I think it was 3,000, something like that.
Okay, that was for the winner, and there was lots of other cash for other prizes. It was quite a bit more than any of the division winners got for winning their actual division and winning an actual national championship.
Which is nothing, right?
Well, I mean, their prizes, any prize, there was no prize value that equaled that, right? Nobody got cash. That was the only person that got cash.
Yeah, that's the thing about Hunter is like he goes up in front and he literally hands them wads of cash in front of everybody.
Yeah, so that's where I think USPSA, and then for Race Gun Nationals, I don't know how much cash was involved in that, but obviously the top competitors figured out I can win a national championship and not get any money, or I can just compete in this belt division and I can win something. I can win money or win something cool. I believe Jacob Hetherington won the belt title, and he won Corvette. Now, it was like a 1980s model Corvette, so we're not talking like a new $100,000 Corvette, but it's still a Corvette. And I believe Jacob Hetherington was the one that won that. So the problem is, and I didn't see what happened at the awards at Race Gun. I wasn't there, but I believe he got the podium to do what he wanted. He was not the title sponsor at Factory Gun Nationals. He wasn't any of that. If you were a title sponsor at that match, you got your banner, you got your logo on everything, but you didn't get all of the promotion, all of that Hunter got. And you didn't get to create your own division around whatever gun that you wanted or whatever belt system that you wanted or anything like that. He's created a division that is his own separate division that supersedes any of the basically USPSA rules. And it watered down I think it ruined the sport because it made the product lesser for the people who won a national championship. You have Adam Grimm, who won limited optics. I'm not saying he didn't deserve to win a national title in limited optics at race gun, but Jacob was shooting from concealment. He was shooting and reloading from concealment. So he beat him, but would he really beat him in a straight up match? I don't know. Like I
I don't know.
I think I think that made that accomplishment seem less
But that
because
is that is kind of the whole point of nationals, is that we get to know, right? And now nationals occurs, and he beat Jacob, and we don't know.
right. That's my point. To me, USPSA really weakened their position. If I was a sponsor, no way would I want to sponsor a USPSA Nationals at this point. It's like, well, you're just going to let this guy dictate everything he wants and give him front stage and the biggest spotlight at the awards and all that. Yeah, and all the competitors are going to compete in there. Yeah, I'm not going to support that. But they basically let themselves be used by Hunter to promote himself. And I, I don't know. It wasn't Hunter promoting the sport. It was Hunter promoting himself. Is my view of that. He was promoting his product, and he wasn't donating to say, "Hey, I want to donate. How you see how you can make this sport better." It was no, I want to donate so I can just get as much eyeballs on belt as I can. That's how I see it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have anything against um, Hunter doing whatever he needs to do to promote his brand, and and do what he can. I don't really hold it as a fault to Hunter, honestly. But
Yeah,
I
I
am,
maybe I should say that differently. Yeah, I don't fault Hunter at all. Good on him.
yeah, yeah. I mean, he's killing it, honestly. Uh,
Yeah,
and good for Hunter. I am disappointed in USPSA for uh, I don't know, kind of taking just the purity of the sport and letting that happen to it. Um, I don't know. I don't like it.
yeah. Look, if they wanted to say kill carry optics or remake carry optics into an actual carry division, okay, we're going to use shorter guns. We're going to go from concealment and all that. And Hunter wanted to sponsor that division. Okay, I'd be on board with that. That would make sense. Do that. Um, but that doesn't seem to be what they want to do.
Yeah. Anyway, it's an interesting thing that's happening. We'll see how it evolves. Are you going to get one? Are you going to get belt? Are you going to shoot from concealment with
No, I'm
eight
not.
with six magazines?
No, I'm not gonna do that. I've seen his product. It didn't make me want to get it. I've
Really?
heard that it like it's good. But it
A guy at my work has one of his belts. Said he
oh
loves
really?
it. Yeah, said he
Yeah,
really likes it.
it may be great. I mean I haven't like I don't own one, so I haven't like put one on and tried it.
Hmm.
It didn't make me want to get one when I looked at one. But
Hey, who knows? Maybe the next episode, the name of this podcast will be Belt Podcast.
hey, like look, if Hunter wants to come on and sponsor the podcast, yeah, I'll put a belt on. I don't have any problem with that. I'm probably not going to compete with it unless it was an actual legitimate concealed division. I'm probably not gonna compete with it for real. But
Yeah.
uh,
Anyway,
I carry a gun most days.
that's the thing that's happening in the sport right now.
Yeah,
Um, so pay attention, watch it more,
I
see
yeah,
how
and
it
I'm sure
evolves.
there are people that absolutely love it.
Hmm.
And maybe there's people that feel the same way I do. I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna get some hate for that one.
Yeah, you for sure are. I already hate
That's
you.
okay. That's
Um,
man.
Next
That's
topic.
harsh. I'm just
Single
gonna
stack
roll with that.
nationals. Single stack nationals. Tell us about that.
So the rumor is that the 2027 single stack nationals is going to be held in conjunction with or in replacement of the Western States single stack classic match, um, which is typically in historically every except for a single year probably about 8 years ago that has been in February. 1 year, Western States and Area 2 swapped weekends. They're
Okay.
swapped times of the year. I don't necessarily know why they did that, but they tried it and then they swapped it back. But it's in February every year. It's was always just I mean, I've been shooting at it for a long time. It was one of the first majors I went to. So it's been going for a long time. It's it's just an off season match where everybody's shooting 1911s. And it's stages are usually okay, and
Hmm.
yeah, you kind of get to everybody gets to go. They go and kind of get to mess around with a single stack, and it doesn't affect their schedule.
It's really good
Um,
participation.
yeah, yeah, it's got good participation. And so you hear that, like, I've heard these rumors like, well, this should just be nationals because look, we have 200 single stack shooters, and at nationals we only have this year we had what 40 I think we had 40 at single stack nationals
Yeah, I
this
don't know.
year. Um, and it's like, okay, I can kind of, I mean, I can kind of see that if just sheer numbers is what does it. And there was, this last couple of years, Western States has had quite a few number of GMs and stuff like that. Like there's a lot of GMs. Nils has just run away with it every year. Um, because and here's the deal. Here's why I just don't. I really disagree with making that a nationals. Nationals in February is really dumb. If we care about nationals and we want people to care about that match, then nationals in February is really dumb. Uh,
Yeah,
More
I
than
agree.
half of the country cannot prepare for it. It's not a time of year when people are prepared, and people don't prepare for that match. Like I promise you, the guys winning that match every year, they pick up a gun the day of the match. They're not stressing about it. Like nobody's putting effort into it. They're just going to mess around with the single stack. That's it. So if all of a sudden it's going to be this is your most important match of the year if you shoot single stack, or if it's a qualifier for a world shoot event, then yeah, I just don't think that's an appropriate level match. And so I don't know. I think you could have the same effect if you went back and did a single stack match in May, uh, maybe late May, like it used to be with PASA. PASA was typically early May, but you could still do it a late spring match where most of the country has at least been warm for a few weeks, uh, and you could put it at a place where it can do an appropriate job with nationals and stuff. That sounds more derogatory towards PASA. I mean towards Salida, Rio Salida than I meant for it to be, but um, like you could do that same thing and do it in May, and people can actually still be prepared and take it seriously, and I think you would still get tons of attendance.
So just move it to May.
Yeah, it probably can't be in Phoenix in May because it will be just miserable.
Hmm.
Um, like the heat would just be miserable in Phoenix in May. But so pick somewhere else that's less miserable.
So you don't like it. So there's not really a good option for you to have single stack nationals in Phoenix.
I mean, like we had nationals there in what April for IPSC nationals.
Hmm.
Was that kind of late April in 2024? I think it
Yep.
was. I mean there's a possibility there. Like you go to late April, then yeah, you're gonna be hot, but you're not gonna be probably 115 most likely. Um, and that seems like a better option than February to me.
So if they can move it 2 months.
That would be better. Yeah, I would be more on board with that.
Yeah, you would hate it
And then
less.
yeah, and then I would be curious. I mean, because I'd be curious who's going to run that match. Like, if is it just going to be Western States? Like, they're just going to duplicate what Western States has historically been, and then call it nationals,
Hmm.
or are they actually going to get control of the match and it's going to make it a national match? Right? Like,
Yeah, I mean, from all
it's
the talk that we've heard, it sounds like they just want to take the match and make it nationals.
Right. So take a 12 stage match essentially and just make it that nationals. Um,
Yeah, put a
I
few
would,
more
I would,
banners up,
yeah,
different
I would
awards.
very much not be in favor of that. Like the match had been, I think, even a level one. Um, like, and it's really run more like a level one. Like it's kind of a big local. Is kind of the feel and the vibe of the match. Um, like there's no prize table, there's no nothing like that, right? Like it's a Steve Horseman runs the match, has run the match for
Mm-hmm.
maybe its entirety, and it's kind of just his. That's just kind of his baby, uh, and again, I'm not dogging Western states as a match. Like I'm not dogging that match. Like it does what it needs to do from that standpoint. If that's supposed to be a nationals, then I would have more issues with it. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, got it.
What do you think about that, Jeff?
Writing it down. It's a
Oh
bad
boy.
idea.
Oh boy.
Uh, yeah, I don't necessarily like it. I mean, like you said, it is really difficult to train for anything in February, right? Like normally, I don't know. I don't know how everyone else does it, but it's pretty cold here till like March, April ish sometimes, right? And I generally don't have like the ability to go train, like go shoot until after the time changes back in March,
Right.
right? Because I train after work. So,
Right.
like right now, I go to work in the dark, I come home in the dark. Uh,
Yep.
I'm at work all day. Well, it's light. So yeah, when this match comes around, like this last time, I did really well in it, but I had live fired one time before that match, uh,
Yeah.
and that was all dry fire, right? And then yeah, the vibe, like you said, the vibe at the match is that like nobody cares about the match, and like I care about the match, but yeah, the vibe is like nobody cares about this match. We're just here to have fun and shoot single stacks and have a good time, and it is. It's a
Yeah.
really good time.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that is the vibe. The vibe is not who's the national champion, who's coming here to be serious with this gun. So
Yeah. Who's gonna get closest to Nils? Right.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
it's his home range.
yeah,
He's in Phoenix, so he can train. It does shoot. He doesn't. I don't know if he's training, but he shoots all through winter. Yeah, he's got a massive advantage being at his home club.
yeah, yeah. And if there's ever a time that I'm going to beat Nils, it's going to be at that match because he picks up the gun the day of the match and he doesn't train with it. And yeah, so if I'm going to beat him, it's going to be at that match.
Yeah.
It's got to be.
So,
It's the only opportunity.
oh, I think you got it in you. I've seen all that explosive movement training you're doing, all that rice bucket training you're doing.
Yeah, coming for you, Nils. Coming for you.
How has that? What's your vertical? Has your vertical leap increased? Have you measured that?
No.
I think you should measure that, and then let's see coming out of winter if you stick with this movement training, this explosive movement training.
Mm-hmm.
Then let's see if your vertical has gotten any better.
I'll know it's gotten better when my head hits the ceiling. That's how
Oh,
I'll
I
know.
was so I started doing that actually yesterday.
Yeah.
You motivated me a little bit. It's a little bit you motivated me a little bit. I've been thinking I need to do more. Like I'm old now. I need to do some more explosive movement training. Not that I've ever moved explosively, but but I really need to practice it now. And then I've got ski season coming up, like snow seasons.
Mm-hmm.
We're going skiing in January, so I need to be doing leg training and stuff anyway.
Yeah.
And so I was just like doing sets of 10 of not just jump squats, but jumping as like max effort. How high can I jump
Yeah.
as just
Yeah.
get as high as I can? And I don't know how close my head's getting to the scene, but it feels like I'm close.
Right?
Uh, but I'm probably quite a long ways away. But it feels like I'm close.
I know I'm close because I was jumping in the house the other day. And it's the
Yeah.
same ceiling in the garage in the house. But I was jumping in the house and I was showing Thea what I was doing. I was like doing like 3 jumps consecutively just as high as I could on
Yeah.
each one. And
Yeah.
she was like, Dad, stop! Your head's gonna hit the ceiling. So I know it's close.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because she was scared
Look
I
at
was
that.
gonna
And
hit it.
at your height, I mean, you're jumping high then.
Yeah, I mean, the ceilings aren't that high, but
But I mean, like comparative, like to like normal height people, like the ceiling's closer.
to normal height people,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
okay, okay. Um,
Uh,
all right, you want to tackle this third topic you came up with?
what is it? The World Shoot?
Yeah, World Shoot qualifiers.
Okay, so the rumors I'm hearing is that now none of this is official, so this is rumor, but hey, let's
Yeah,
talk about it. So if
don't tell Jeremy anything you don't want said on the podcast.
hey, I got a full disclosure here. What I'm hearing is that because we were curious because the World Shoot has in the past been every 3 years, and so the 2 years prior to it would be you would have your USPSA nationals and IPSC nationals, and then that would represent your 4 qualifying matches, and you take your 3 highest scores from those 4 matches. And so then the question has been, okay, we're going to a 4-year schedule now. So then will nationals in 2026 be used as qualifying matches for a match that doesn't happen until 2029? Uh, and that's kind of been the question and the debate. And most people that I talk to that would be vying for a team spot are we're kind of just thinking, well, yeah, the 2026 nationals can't count. It's too far away from the match to try to use that as some sort of performance measurement for getting the best team, the people that are shooting the best in 2029. We can't really use match performance from 2026 to determine that team. Has kind of been everybody that I've talked to is like this. They're just general idea and consensus that that wouldn't be a great idea if we're trying to get the best team put together. But what I heard was that the plan is that nationals for 2026 will count for team selection in the 2029 World Shoot, and it will still be your best 3 match performances, but there will be 6 different nationals to choose from
Hmm.
in that. So it'd be the IPSC and USPSA nationals in the years 2026, 2027, and 2028 would determine your best 3 performances from those 6 matches. Now, what that could potentially mean if they keep nationals the way it is currently, and you have factory gun and race gun nationals separated as different matches, then there's actually 9 different nationals for people to gain team points in. You could in the 2025 World Shoot, there are several people that qualified for 2 teams. Nils and Mason, I know there may have been others, but I know Nils and Mason both qualified for the production team and the production optics team. Well, if they move forward with what they're saying, you could potentially have somebody make 3 separate teams. They could qualify for 3 separate teams going into the 2029 World Shoot. So if you had somebody like Christian, right? So I think Christian was a little bit frustrated that he didn't get to compete against Eric at the 2025 World Shoot. I think he wanted to. I don't know if frustrated is the right word. I haven't spoken to him, but I think he wanted to compete against Eric at the World Shoot. But he had to compete in open because that was the team that he was on. If he went to another division, he would have had to have just shot as an individual, wouldn't have been able to be on a team. This would technically, he could say he could qualify for open, he could qualify for optics, and he could qualify for production optics. He could basically pick the 3 biggest divisions in the sport. You qualify for all 3 of those,
Hmm.
and then just wait right before the match and say, okay,
See which one Eric's shooting, and then shoot that one.
yeah, yeah, and then you're left scrambling to fill his spot in one of the other teams, right? And you could have multiple people do this. Mason's quite capable of doing that. Nils would be quite capable of doing that. Jacob, I'm sure, would be quite capable of doing that if he wanted to. Um, and there's probably others that could as well. So it just, I don't know. The fact that you could have somebody qualify for 3 different teams seems like a poor decision. And then the fact that we would be using matches 3 years away from the actual world shoot to determine who's on the team, that doesn't seem like the best option to me.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot can happen in 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we were sort of discussing in the Discord this week. Um, a lot of people will go really hard for 2 or 3 years and get really freaking good. 2 to 3 years. Really, like 3 years is a big breaking point, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
3 years, somebody can go really hard, they get really good, and then they're just like completely burnt out. So take that scenario, right? Like someone does good in 2026 and they keep getting better. 2027, 2028, 2029 comes, they're burnt the hell out, right? They don't want to train for 2029 and then they go to the world shoot. Uh, so something potentially like that could happen. I'm not saying it will, but could. 3 years is just a long time. It's a long in this sport. It's a really long time because that's kind of the breaking point where people will burn out and give up. 3 4 years.
Well, even you talk about putting junior shooters in the mix, right? Uh, Sometimes some people develop massively in that time frame. So you have a 17-year-old, somebody who's 17, competing against themselves as a 20-year-old. They may have made some massive leaps and bounds in that time frame.
Yeah.
Um, to where I don't know. It seems, or really, it might be more of, okay. You take Scott Brown, right? He won limited nationals when he was 17. Okay, so he was good enough at 17 to win nationals, which means he probably would have done really well at a world shoot when in 2023, I think is when he won it. Um, but then he would have, in order to have somebody of that, he's the best in the U.S. at that point, should be on the world shoot team, but he would have had to have shot well as a 14-year-old, right, to have gotten points to get on that team,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Like
Like
if
if the
you're
world shoot had been in 23.
yeah, yeah, or 2024, right? So if
Yeah.
it had been in that deal, like I know, I mean, I remember Scott as a 14, 15-year-old. He got significantly better when he was
Yeah, he did.
17, 18, 19, right? Like
Holy
he
smokes. Yeah.
he improved drastically in that time frame. So I don't know. There's just, yeah, I think there's just lots of opportunity that you end up with not your strongest teams if you do that.
Yeah.
And there's not a perfect solution. I'm not saying that there is a
Yeah.
perfect solution, but that doesn't seem like the best option to me at this point.
Yeah. And honestly, it's not a massive difference than what's going on. Like
No,
you're just adding one more year of qualifying matches, but it is something to think about.
yeah,
You're adding some other variables in there. The
yeah,
time variable, right? Time variable. Somebody can qualify for more teams, and then what's that going to happen? When it comes down to the wire, people have to choose teams, and suddenly people want to shuffle around because they want to shoot against this person, or they want to travel with these people, or they want to shoot on this team. And so then, like you said, they leave this team wide open, and then they got to shuffle people around to get on the team, and uh, yeah, there's a lot that could happen with that. So
yeah. It's a lot
not
of ambiguity. If they stick with that, I hope they will go to at least 4 or 5 qualifying. Like you need at least like your best 4 scores, minimum your best 4 scores. Then you're at least going to prove like a consistent performance, right? If your best 3 out of 4, it somewhat makes sense. I like the idea of 3 out of 4 in the previous years, because let's say you go and you DQ, right, or you're just horribly sick for one, or maybe like your wife's pregnant and you can't, like, giving birth, you can't go, like, there's stuff that happens. Okay, you may have to miss a match. um I think that's good to have that out, but it seems like 3 out of 6 were maybe not necessarily rewarding who were consistently performing at the highest level. Possibly.
Possibly. Yeah, it changes things just a little bit.
What else? What other
Yeah.
controversies did I have?
I think that was it. That was the major ones.
Oh,
That was yeah, top 3. Bingo
we got
bango,
through.
knocked them out.
Yeah, knock those suckers out. I don't think I'm all that controversial there. I think the belt, maybe my take on the belt is maybe controversial, but I know I'm not isolated in how I feel about that. I'll say that much.
Yeah, yeah, the belt one is an interesting one. I don't know. It doesn't make me want to shoot belt.
Does it make you want to buy a belt?
I mean, it does make me curious about belt.
Oh,
You
there you
can't
go.
say
He got you.
you cannot say the. You can't say the with belt, Jeremy. It's against the rules.
It's just such a terrible. I'm sorry. It's such a like. Look, he's a better marketer than me, so I'm not gonna say like he's wrong.
Mhm.
But man, what a terrible name. Uh, I just think it's awful. Like, well, it's just a belt. Like everybody wears a belt. Uh,
No, it's not a belt. It's belt.
it's like if I came out with a gun and I just named it pistol or just gun.
Gun.
Yeah, and
Do you
that was the brand. Do you
do
have
you
gun?
do you have gun?
No, not a gun. Do you have gun?
Do you have gun?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh
Again,
yeah,
look,
I've got gun.
Hunter's marketing blows me out of the water from what I do.
Oh, for
So
sure.
I'm not gonna I'm not gonna say that he's wrong. I'm just saying it seems a little not great to me. But
I mean, the fact that we're talking about it means it's working.
exactly. Well done, Hunter. Good
Yeah.
job. Burnout was a big topic on the Discord earlier, and I know we've talked about it, but we're in the part of the season where people are dealing with burnout, right? There's fewer matches going on. There's no
And
big matches for a long time.
all the people that heard us talk about burnout last time have burnt out and they're gone.
Exactly.
And these are new
Exactly.
people.
We got new people that are burning out. They're just worn down by the sport and they're burning out. So the question was posed on the Discord of how do you handle with burnout? I think we had a guy that he's, if I remember right, been in the sport a couple years, right, and gone pretty hard. Sounds like dry firing every day, maybe
Yeah,
multiple
I
times a
don't
day,
know.
live firing a couple times a week.
Yeah, I don't know when he started, but he did say he'd been going solid for 2 years.
Okay, so maybe he's been in the sport, but he's really been training hard for 2 years, and doesn't sound like really hasn't had a break in 2 years, is
Yeah.
what I
Yeah.
kind of heard. And he's at a point now where he just, the idea of picking up a gun does not sound fun to him at all. So he was kind of asking how people, like, how do you, he's like, I've never experienced burnout before. This hasn't happened like in my life. He's like, I'm not a guy that burns out, but I'm feeling burnout right now. And
Yeah.
so what do you do with that? How do you get over that? So Jeff, what do you do to avoid burnout? Because you're now, when we started this podcast, you were kind of at that like 3-4 year stage, whereas like you haven't quite been in long enough to really burn out, but now you've been in long enough that like you could have burned out by now. Like you could have easily quit and walked away. And I think that's maybe been a thought a couple times.
What do you mean, maybe? I feel like people get tired of hearing us talk about how much we're going to quit the sport. Yeah, I can tell you this for sure. If you want to completely burn out, start a podcast 3 years into the sport. Right? Start a podcast. That'll for sure. That'll finish the deal for you.
But the podcast is what has kept you in the sport, my friend.
Yeah. Yeah.
You want to know why?
But I've lost a lot of co-hosts along the way.
You've kept one.
Yeah.
And we've really kind of added a couple. We've really kind of added a couple here.
Yeah.
They don't like to get on when we're on, but I feel like we're still co-hosts.
Yeah, they're like, okay, Jeff, Jeremy, they're going to be out this night so we can have a good interview.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you deal with burnout?
I always take a break, and honestly, this has taken experimentation for me because I've ranged from, for the first 2.5 years, probably, like not taking any breaks, like shooting just
Hmm.
as much as I can all year long. It slows down in the winter. There's just less matches. It's cold. I don't want to shoot as much, but like if it's nice, I go shoot. If there's a match, I would go shoot in the snow, in the rain. Didn't matter, right?
Hmm.
And then on top of all that, for me, just to go practice is a lot of work, honestly. And that over the years, that has what has contributed the most to my burnout. Is that I gotta like every time I want to shoot, I gotta go to the range. I gotta unload all my target stands, target sticks. I gotta staple everything up, move it around. There's nothing at the range, so every time I shoot, I have to take everything with me. Um, that's a
That's
lot of
not
work.
ideal.
It's not ideal.
Yeah.
It sucks. Um, so I started implementing breaks. Uh, at first, for the first, I don't know, maybe year or two that I started implementing breaks, it was like, maybe 4 weeks, maybe a month and a half, something like that. And then, and that helps for sure for me to have a break like that. And then I took it a bit more extreme and I started going really long breaks, like like no shooting from the end of October till freaking March or April, um, and that if you want to keep shooting in the sport, that's probably also not a great idea. If you want to keep
Yeah.
progressing, like yeah, you can come back and shoot, and yeah, okay, but if you want to like keep getting better, if you want to come back and try to progress and not just like get close to where you were last year, probably also not a good idea. Also, if you're like honestly most guys in this sport, you have a pretty obsessive personality. Um, being away from a thing for that long, you're gonna find another thing, and you're gonna
Yeah.
obsess about it, and then it's gonna be hard to put that thing down to come back to this thing.
Yep.
Uh, so that becomes a big issue. So uh, I have started still taking breaks. I think it's very important, but I keep a little bit. And for me, I'm a routines guy. I love having a routine. I don't ever stop completely working out, right? Like I'm always doing something. And
Unless
so
it's
that
like 3 months before a world shoot.
I was still
And
doing
then you'll.
something. It was very little though, right? That was like right that was like my off season for working out, right? Right before world shoot. Um, so that's kind of how I approach the shooting stuff now, right? Like I'm not going to completely stop, but I'm going to get 5, 10, maybe 15 minutes of dry fire every day. I mean, I'm up early working out anyway, so I'm going to put in that. It's just part of my routine. I'm going to pick up the gun. I'm going to get my grip. I'm going to do some transitions, just to kind of like just stay familiar with it, so that when I'm
Hmm.
ready to like put my foot on the gas and really start putting in the work, I don't have so far to come back. I don't have to like refigure out how to hold a gun. I don't have to refigure out what a good transition feels like or a good sight picture looks like. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, so I like to just keep a little bit in there, keep a little bit of familiarity with what it feels like without actually doing like intense training. Uh, and that's
Yeah.
kind of been my approach over the years. That's the swings I've gone through.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a little bit different, but like we're gonna sound pretty similar, even though I think we are a little bit different. I really like having somewhat of a defined season, right? So this last year, World Shoot year, knew it's going to be heavy. Didn't take nearly as much of an off season. They tried to stay on top of it throughout kind of the winter. Like still not shooting much matches in the winter, but still tried to stay in contact with the gun. Still trying to dry fire pretty consistently through all that. Never letting the fitness really lapse too much. Um, but I knew it's going to be really heavy all the way through the world shoot. Like it's going to be heavier than normal year. We're going to train harder, and so like, but you have that big carrot, right? Like you have that big event, that big match that gives you that motivation to like you're not going to burn out really because you have this thing for me at least you have this big thing that is the biggest match in our sport that you really want you're paying a lot of money you really want to do well at so you're not going to burn out going into that so you can go as hard as you want there's really no danger of not going as hard as you want that you're going to burn out but I like having a defined season and basically like my season's starting here and it's going to end here and that's where that's where I really want to try to push and I can set my development around okay how can I maximize so that I peak my shooting will peak at these points during the season and hopefully the last part of the season is when your most important matches probably why I don't want a match in February because you want your big matches to be at the end of the season that should be kind of how
Yeah.
sports should work, I think. Um, so then, and then I will kind of put the gun away after that. And right now I'm not really dry firing. If I'm inside the shop working on guns, then yeah, I'll have one around and I may pick it up and dry fire for 5 minutes, just kind of mess around with having an optic on a slide. But right now I'm building a shop, so I'm outside swinging a hammer and running a drill for most of my life right now. So there's just no opportunity for me at that point and I'm not going to come in after those days to go dry fire or whatever. And I'm okay with that. I somewhat know okay if I put the gun down for 3 months, say I don't touch one for 3 months, I can pick it up and within a week or two of consistent dry fire, like I'll be at a very competent performance level. Will I be at where I'm trying to peak? No, but I'll be at a very competent level um, in a couple of weeks as far as gun handling and stuff like that. So for me that works. I mean I am like Jeff in that yeah after the world shoot, I said, okay, I'm gonna time to start going after other stuff, and I'm still for a while, I'm still wanting to go shoot and shot a little bit, and still wanting to dry fire and do that sort of stuff, and then yeah, uh, woodworking projects starting to take over, like my thought, what I'm thinking about. I kind of want to build a camper. That starts taking over more of my thought processes. Um, and so there's other things like that, other projects, other stuff that you want to do that start to kind of take over, and that's a good thing. Like there's that mental break
Yeah. Yeah.
of being away from the sport. Look, I'll tell you what. This is what's hard for people. I think the greatest thing the closest I ever was to really quitting the sport. I don't remember which nationals it was. It was in Alabama. I know that. Uh, and I just left Bob. I just dropped him off at the world shoot. I mean, at the awards ceremony, I just dropped him off high and dry, and I just
Hmm.
started because I had to drive home. I think it was the nationals you did not shoot.
Yeah, I think that was 21.
Okay, yeah, I think you did not shoot that one, um, and yeah, I had a terrible match. Shot really truly awful, and yeah, I was done. I was flat out done. And I get home and all of a sudden, uh, when what I don't know when Bob gave it to me. We had stopped at a liquor store at the beginning of that match to look for like, can we find a decent bottle of whiskey anywhere in Alabama? And it's hard. We found this. It was a store pick of a Knob Creek 120 proof. Which is actually ended up being it was a state selected, but it was we there were two bottles there. It was old. We bought one, and it was actually just it was a banger. It was really good, and I was like, oh man, we should stop back in there on our way home. What? when I was driving through, it was closed, so I wasn't going to stop through. Well, Bob and Nils the next day when they're driving to the airport, they stop in and they grab that bottle, and then he gifted it to me later. I don't remember when he gifted it to me. But it, for me, I don't know that I'll ever burn out on the sport because I have so many relationships and friends and people that I want to hang out with that, like, I don't know that I'll ever get burnt out on the sport itself. Cause I love the sport. I love it's really, really unique in what it forces from a mental standpoint, from a physical standpoint, and a skill set standpoint. And combining all of that, it's actually pretty unique in the sporting world. I think there's not a lot of other places that combine that. But then like it's, you talk about don't start a podcast when you're 3 years in if you don't want to burn out. Well, okay, yeah, but that's also where our friendship has mostly come from, is through the podcast. I mean,
Mhm.
yeah, traveling matches and stuff, but then we're on this one day a week for however many. We've got 200 something episodes, right? That's at least 200 hours that you're spent talking and listening to me. Um, but without that, we probably would, yeah, we probably still go to matches and stuff, but it's probably different. Our conversations look different at that point, I'm guessing. So I don't know that I'll ever burn out because this is, at this point, it's like, well, that's where I'm going to go hang out with my friends.
Yeah.
Uh, and so the burnout for me, I'm kind of past the burnout type deal,
Yeah.
you know.
I think that is a hump that you come to. You do come to a
Yeah.
point where you're like, I'm gonna burn out, or I'm gonna do this like indefinitely.
Yeah.
Like you get to a point where it's just like you kind of forget about quitting, right?
Yeah.
You're just
That's a good
like,
way to put it.
yeah, you're just like, this is my life. This is like I've created community here, right? Like
Yeah.
my friends, this is a part of my life now. Like to quit this would be to be giving up on like a lot of friendships and just things that make me me is what it feels like now. And
Yeah.
I think you gotta stay in it long enough to become that if you want to do it long enough.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
I would say, starting a podcast does kind of fast track that shit because you just talk to a lot of people, right? Um,
Yeah.
and being somebody who came up in this sport in like a town where it's not like super prevalent. Like
Yeah.
we have a few people that shoot little matches, it's not sanctioned, but there's not any like USPSA sanctioned matches within an hour of where I live. There's nobody that shoots like seriously competitive or travels to matches, you know, within an hour of where I live. So it's just kind of like me here, and I think that was one of the things that drove me to like, man, I need to freaking I'm really into this. I want to talk to people about this. So
Hmm.
I got to find somebody who's going to sit down and talk to me and do a podcast about it. And that's kind of how it started for me. But that's how the community, my involvement in creating the relationships that I have in this sport, that's kind of how it all began. Is I was freaking lonely.
Oh man, that sounded sad. Oh.
Well, I mean, as it comes to the sport, right? Like
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I have great friends. I'm not a lonely person, but when it comes to the sport, right?
And
Like,
raccoons. You have great friends and lots of raccoons.
yeah, exactly. I got my coons. Uh, but when it comes to the sport and like you're really into something, like you want to talk to somebody about it, right? Like you want to
Yeah.
express your thoughts. Uh, yeah. So
Yeah, for sure. And so yeah, yeah, how you deal with burnout is, everybody's kind of different, right? They're just going to approach it differently, but it doesn't take anything for me to get excited if like you and Brett and Bob and are all going to a match. Okay, yeah, I want to be at that match, and if I'm going to a match, I want to be prepared. Like, I'm not one that's going to show up to a match without training. Bob
yeah,
can do that. Bob does that all the time. Like half the matches he goes to,
yeah,
uh, and he still wastes people. But Like
Yeah.
if you guys are going to a match, okay, I want to be there. That's going to be a fun time. And yeah, if I'm at a match, I'm going to train and try to do as well as I can. So
Yeah. 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 I've showed up to matches untrained and it sucks. It sucks real bad.
it's so bad.
It's
It's
really bad.
awful. It's
Yeah.
awful. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. So yeah, I think that's. I don't know if that. I don't know if we answered their question on how to burn out. Like I'll say from a working out standpoint, after the world shoot, I have never. It has been a long time since I've been this unmotivated to work out. Holy cow!
Really?
I mean, there have been many days like I actually get up and I go out to the shop to work out, and then I kind of walk around for about 10 or 15 minutes like, nope, I'm not doing anything this morning. Just go back, take a shower and cook breakfast and go on with the day. um
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Some days that happens. Just happens.
yeah, it's been happening a lot lately, but as long if Jeff will keep posting like these videos
Yeah.
on the Discord, that'll help me. It's like, oh man, I can't let Jeff be working out if I'm not. I can't be the one that gets all fat and then Jeff gets all like in super good shape
Yeah.
and he's all that I can't let that happen.
Yeah, I've been getting in pretty good shape since the world shoot. I'm feeling pretty good.
I it's the that is the weirdest thing in the world to me. That like you doesn't work out at all going into the world shoot, almost at all. It doesn't almost work out at all. And then we finish the world shoot. He's like, oh yeah, now it's time to really hit some
Yeah.
peak physical performance
Yeah.
after the match. That's when we really want to peak our physical performance at that point.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know, it got to a point where we were like, I got out of the groove and I really wanted to, like 4 weeks out from the world shoot,
Yeah.
I wanted to like hit it really hard, but I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's worth it. Like because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna work really hard. I'm gonna try to go too fast. I'm gonna get hurt, or I'm just gonna be sore for 2 weeks and then I won't be able to shoot like do good shooting training.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, so I just got to this point where I was like, I can't really think of a good way to like get in good shape and it be like not risky for me. So then I just decided to like, I don't know, barely maintain, just like do little things here and there to like be flexible and active, but not really try to get in better shape. And yeah, that's kind of how I went into the world shoot.
I mean, if you were only starting 4 weeks before,
Yeah.
then yeah, that was probably the right decision at that point.
Yeah. Yeah. I kind of shot myself in the foot at that point.
I mean, it seemed to work okay. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a
I mean, thankfully, there
good
wasn't
plan for
any
you.
crazy athletic events there. So short
No,
days, short days and nothing
yeah,
crazy athletic. It was all right.
yeah, that's true. It was very much was conducive to. You didn't need to have any sort of conditioning. You shot for an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, right?
Yeah. Yeah. You for sure didn't need any sort of like cardio conditioning. Being
Yeah,
more explosive would have been a little helpful, but not not conditioning.
yeah, you'll be ready for the next one.
Yes, sir. All right, that's it. That's all I got. Ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome for bringing back the sultry voice of Jeremy Reed. I know you were missing it.
Yeah. Well, let's just break that like a biscuit.